For all film related interviews, content, and reviews, please subscribe to Pooja Talwar. Thank you so much, ladies, for speaking to me. And I'd already told Amla Nandini, Meera is actually one of my favorite in the anthology because I just love the power dynamics. And you may call her an imperfect woman, but she is perfect in her imperfections. So I'm going to ask you first, how did this idea come about? And I know Amla in an interview said that this was so unlike what Nandini has done before. You know, as in Hindi, they say the Sundar Sushil Bahu and the girl that she has portrayed. Now, suddenly, this is a woman. She's Sundar, she's Sushil, but she's got an ace up her sleeve. So, how did that idea come about?
Okay, so when Netflix approached us and gave us the theme of power play in relationships, there was a lot of meat in that idea itself. So then I started talking to my brilliant writer, Radhika Madan, who's from Mumbai, and we started ideating on how we can play with this power dynamic. But I was already looking for a deliciously evil woman, or a woman with that slant, you know.
No visible horn.
So then Radhika told me about this short story that she had written based on a story of Guy de Maupassant. And, you know, she kind of gave me the basic premise of the plot. And I said, this is very fertile ground for us to play with. So let us now get our hands into the dough. And then we started wrestling with the ideas. And I'm a big Roald Dahl fan. So I wanted that twist in the end. And you know, to give it that kind of kick, and you're like, what just happened? And then you revisit the whole story, and then you see the little layers that were already kind of, you know, there. And that's how Meera came to be. And we kind of nourished her with all our care and a little bit of wickedness, a little bit of heart, a little bit of so many things. We gave her all the little bits and pieces of all that we are as human beings. We wanted her to be gorgeously flawed, and she is, I think. And that's how Meera came into being. And Amla just breathed life into Meera with all her wonderful eye play. I believe she created magic just the way she was looking at the camera and looking at people, and you could see that glint in her eye. And you know, the same woman towards the end, when she cries, your heart cries with her. So that's the magic Amla has woven into Meera, and she really breathed life into her.
I totally agree with that. I told Amla this earlier as well. But I want to ask you, you've done played various roles. Was this something different from one, you know, people had approached you with? And what was it for you that you wanted to like sink your teeth into Meera's character and this narrative?
Yeah, I keep saying I went from, this is for Amla, right?
Amla and both of you, ladies. You can,
Nan, go first.
So Meera, the thing that drew me into this was, I think I got a little tired of playing Spider-Man. I decided to go Batman. Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man करते करते red spandex फटने लगा था मेरा.
I love you, Nandini. I love it.
So I just said, let's just go in, dive into the darker side of things and see what comes out. But yeah, you know, as filmmakers, I think you should keep trying to tell different stories, because we are so many people. You know, we're not just one person, and there's so many things. If we allow ourselves to draw in from those sides of us, that these are journeys that we need to travel. Unfortunately, we travel on comfortable roads, or things that we have walked before, and we're comfortable because it's a scary process. What will people think, and how does your whole image as a filmmaker change? Will you be able to deliver? Will it land? Will it work? Should we play it safe? All these kind of things come. But Netflix allowed me to just kind of free fall. And this was right after Oh Baby, which was a big black blockbuster, huge family film. All grandmothers love me, kids love me. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to dive to the other end. They're probably going to hate me, and I'm not going to be able to watch this film with my mom, but that's okay. I want to try this. So just let's dive in with the sharks. That's what I did.
Yes, Amla.
For me, I've always been a huge fan of, Gone Girl kind of films, where, like, where, you know, like there is so much depth and emotional, you know, and dark exploration of characters. Seemingly the female characters seemingly very calm on surface, but you know, like when you swim beneath, you can really see the storm boiling, right? So that's what I loved about Meera. I mean, she's so like, she's so perfect, and you know, like she's just being the best version of what a society demands out of a woman or a mother or a wife. And in spite of all that, you know, she doesn't get the respect that she deserves. She doesn't get the love that she deserves. And I know so many women like that. And you know, and even I've been in, you know, such positions probably before. So and you just get tired of all this, and you know, you just want to get done with all this, and then you just want to sort of regain your power, you know, but that also very gracefully. What I think, one word if I can relate Meera to, is the way she exudes grace in everything, you know, like throughout, like in all the roles that she's handling, even though she's like, even though she is you know, planning and plotting everything, but it is not very it is like to survive, right? It's a survival, still she does it with so much grace. So that's what I loved about Meera. And I think it's very, very different from all the roles that I've played. And she's so feminine, you know, she didn't have to be masculine, and or she didn't have to be you know, like a badass woman or loud to get, you know, to do what she wanted to do. So I think that's what I loved most about Meera.
And also asking you another question is, you know, the fan following you have, your fans always also see you in this perfect image. When you try, as she said, she's taken a free fall and now they might just hate me for what I am doing. Do you also sometimes get bogged down by the image that, you know, your fans have perceived you? And you as an actor, I'm sure, want to explore everything, good, bad, and ugly. So sometimes is there a conflict?
So my fans, you know, like, I don't think they see me as this perfect, you know, because see, all my life, even from the beginning, I think I've been very blessed to be part of movies or play roles that are, you know, mostly like the majority of roles that I've played are very, you know, in the dark realm compared to the perfect heroines that, you know, we see mostly on screen. Like, I think even from my debut film to my last release, which was Our Day, where a girl, you know, gets kidnapped and left in a building naked. So I've always been up for such roles, and audience knows that about me. So, you know, so I think there is this uh, different expectation when I am part of a film. So I think that way it gives me strength and confidence. It doesn't scares me. It doesn't scare me at all.
And also, lady director, a woman who's written. Now, this is both to the two of you. Would it have been different if a male perspective had come in? You know, like if a man was directing it or had written it, or you know, any difference?
Yes, of course. You
Possible,
know,
possible,
yeah,
definitely.
it definitely, definitely. See, with the Nan, like when we started talking more about Meera and the characters and the subject, I she's a second female director I'm working with, and all others were male. You know, even when I was doing heroine-centric films, so I could see a lot of diving into the depth of these emotions together. Like, you know, she was like we were going scuba diving together and finding, you know, different treasures and crystals down, yeah, you know, like emotionally. And she gave me Nan actually gave me a lot of depth, you know, which I always seek in scenes and in roles. You know, sometimes I just get lost, and she would just perfectly feed me with the, you know, with the right emotional background or information. And even doing all those wild scenes, it was very comfortable. I don't know, maybe with a male director, yeah, like I would be comfortable, otherwise I wouldn't do. But still, with her, it was a different level altogether, because you know, we were laughing. It was so hilarious, you know, doing me while we were shooting all those making out scenes. So I think the fact that she's a woman sort of you know, let me completely go wild. You know, some innate trust was there for sure, definitely.
Nandini, also, do you think that with OTT platforms and, you know, it's given directors they can freely take chances now, because sometimes due to the confines of cinema and what people want to see, you do get restricted and you have to play around in that format.
Yes. See, theatrical format success becomes absolutely paramount and critical, because it's very hard to land another film otherwise. It's very hard to get the money for another film and put it together, and God knows we struggle for each project. It's a battle Friday to survive. So here you're talking largest common denominator in terms of numbers, that it has to appeal to ABC segment, all particular genders, several age groups, and do that much business in order to become successful. Here, the audience is selective. You are watching it in your own confined space. You are watching it at your own free time. So the judgment is far less. The expectations are different. People's way of approaching a story when they watch it in their own time, in their own space, is different. Otherwise, theatrical, it is like, I have to put in this much effort, this much time to go and watch that. Is it communal viewing? Is it private viewing? These are tricky questions right now. And I think you have to be really smart about what story to place where and what story to tell where. So yes, it is freeing. It gives us a lot more lung space to do things. You can walk a lot more freely with lesser fear, because for sure it's going to come out. And Netflix as a platform itself has been very encouraging, and they've given us a kind of a free hand to go and write it as we want. There've been no diktats as such. So that is essential in the OTT space, to kind of have this 360-degree vision for things, as opposed to theatrical, where there are very specific kind of boxes which are expected to be ticked, especially in South cinema, because we cater not only to an educated urban audience, but also to the next segment. And a film has to do well not only in Hyderabad and Vizag, but it has to do well in Kurnool and Gudivada and XYZ places.
Absolutely.
Also. So the kinds of audience that you're looking at, all the sub levels are all pretty vast. So again, I'm saying lowest common denominator. So that applies for theatrical. True. Whereas it doesn't for OTT. That's the thing.
What about you, Amna? As an actor, you also had mentioned it, that this is really liberating. In a film format, Meera would have been called the villain, because she's all. But when you watch the story, you're like, she uses her sexuality as a weapon, because and she's not a villain. She's flawed, but she's perfect in her imperfections. So do you also feel as an actor, it's liberating for you because of this kind of formats, OTT, to try anything you want to?
Yeah, absolutely. I've always said that. And say it's not just only about the time when the movie comes out. Like, see, like, I'm talking from my experience. For a movie like Our Day, see, it starts from the marketing, the way a movie is projected and portrayed, when it comes out through posters, or how media publishes it. So for a platform, like, if you see this anthology, like, Netflix was very clear from the beginning about the theme. There was a theme, there was a concept, and there was like, it's like a baby, and the baby is very well presented into the market. So you set that kind of an expectation, and that kind of a standard among the crowd and the audience. But because there is a certain process that they follow, and so we can see a lot of growth in that platform. But like, I'm not saying a lot of, like, everybody. Of course, there are big production houses who does it very professionally and process oriented, but that sense of security and sense of positive experience that I've been having since the launch of the poster or trailer, it's very different from what I faced before. So, and the kind of audience, I think that's very important, right? It's like Nandini said, it's not just about Hyderabad, or it's not just about the city, the multiplex crowd. It's so what are the targeted audience? This content goes to whom? If they're not ready for such content, and if we are like forcing them to watch, then of course it's going to backfire. So this is what I've learned from my experience.
True. And up to both of you, since you both come from very strong a film background, how do you see this impacting the OTT wave and the kind of content? There's competition because no one is settling for mediocrity here. How do you think this is going to impact film content?
See, there are, I feel there are two ways of looking at cinema. We are social animals. social viewing of cinema is different. So the kind of film that we will watch in theater, we will clearly demarcate. So it's not some coincidence that darker stuff is coming to OTT and more erotica or things which are sensitive are moving to OTT, because a lot of people are not comfortable sitting and watching it with 3-4 people. And even if there is OTT at home, it's not like we all collectively sit in the hall and say, like we're watching Hum Aapke Hai Kaun. We don't put it on and watch. Everybody watches in their own space. So you are allowed that private viewership, and that is very distinct from a social viewership.
Yeah.
When you will go and watch a comedy film, or you'll watch a Bahubali, or you'll watch something that is fun and hey, let's all go and catch this movie, it's going to be crazy or mad. So that distinction is going to happen. That being said, people are now exposed increasingly to international content, so you have to now up your game. You have to, you can't just ki laga diya 4 comedy scene and 4 songs or chal jayega picture 1 star. It's not happening. I think even the biggest stars are facing a kind of bankruptcy in terms of what to do because of the dearth of stories. So I think the writing is coming to the center once more, as it should, and it was in the 70s, and 80s. There was a lot of great writing that brought cinema, and very, very normal looking people. Otherwise, today can we imagine someone like an Amol Palekar being such a big star like he was those days? Those were all stories that brought them to the fore. So I think stories are again going to come back, and the story writer is rightly the superstar. The directors, the actors are just the garnishing on the side. We are the instruments to be able to tell that story, but the story is going to take some centerpiece. And today Amla would any day pick a story over a director, I will tell you that, or even a producer. So it's that which is going to draw people in.
Also, Amla, I want to ask you, because Gautam Menon made a very interesting point that now everything is not going to be driven by those few big names, because talent is available. Everyone is an actor, irrespective. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think I was going to say that only. It's not the time for stars. I think it's time for talents, even if in directors, writers, actors, because see, and you need to really have that passion, because I've been shooting during the lockdown, and even after that. So the whole process of adapting to from that big crew, all the comfort, luxury, to when you sort of do part of such experimental OTT projects, it's really different. I almost felt like, okay, like when I started my career, how everything used to be, and it could play with your head, it could screw your head, but end of the day, it's the passion that that has to be more than whatever stardom, or I think that's the right way. For me, it's my passion that drives me more than anything. So and I think for such for people who are really passionate, I think, and if you're talented, this is your time to shine, because there's so much content, and writers or directors, they need good actors to sort of pull that, right? Otherwise it's not going to come out well. And there are plenty of them, like everywhere auditions are happening, and everywhere you see a lot of newcomers coming. So I think it's time to level up your game. Otherwise
totally agree with that.
Yeah, and for me, I've always been this, like I'm known as this rebel girl who's always trying to swim across or swim against the current, and everybody advises me, why do you have to do that? I mean, look at the negativity, look at the controversy, and I'm like, dude, I'm not doing this to be in the news or anything, because I just don't want to be a regular. And for me, it's like my prayers have been heard. Finally, all actors started picking up good content and doing variety of stuff. So I think it's like the dream beginning of a dream era, I would say.
Well, thank you so much. And before we go, last question to the two of you, Amla, which is that one negative role you want to play, a role that you really want to sink your teeth into? Like you said, Gone Girl type. Who's that one character you're just like wanting to play? And we'll just set it out to the universe.
Like Cersei Lannister in Game of Thrones, something like that.
So Nandini, are you making one? Are you planning to make one? So which is that one movie that you are just wanting to make now?
I was just telling Amla we should do an action film together. I'd like to
Bravo, why not? Yeah.
Cersei Lannister and throw in a few guns and swords and do a Kill Bill with her.
Yeah, let's do that.
Absolutely.
Like
Absolutely.
the
And looking for,
unstoppable Cersei Lannister.
let's just like give it out to the universe. Looking forward. And thank you very much, ladies, for speaking to me. Loved Mira. Hoping to
Thank
see
you,
more
thank
such
you.
content from
Thank
the
you,
two of
Thank
you.
Pooja.
you so
Thank
Hope
you
much.
to
so
see
much.
you
Bye.
soon.
Thank you. Bye. Yes.
you.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Thank
If you've liked this interview, please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram.